Maybe you found this video because you're tired. You're tired of putting up a front or doing what you think that you have to do. Maybe you found this video because you're tired of compressing yourself into this mold of what other people want you to be. And maybe you're just ready to just be free of these ideas, these molds, these things that other people want you to be. You don't have to be what other people want you to be anymore. So if you've done something bad, welcome to the club. A lot of spiritualists, a lot of people in this self-help industry, they're not going to want to admit that they've ever done something bad. Because this whole idea of the spiritual community is to create the sanctuary for people who are sensitive. And maybe you are one of those people who are sensitive, but also maybe the two things can exist at the same time. You can be sensitive and also have done things that you're not proud of. Two things can exist at the same time. You can be a leader who's also had a past. Right? Two things can exist at the same time. And the only way to step into your authenticity, to step into the next level of you, is to bare your entire soul with no filter. A lot of people are not gonna like this video. Actually, I would argue that 99% of the spiritual community is not gonna like this video. And there's gonna be a lot of people who don't like this video who also, they hear what I'm going to talk about, they go through this journey, because I'm going to take you on a whole journey here. They go through this journey, this little healing session, and there's something within them that the front of their brain is like, I don't like this, and the back of their heart, like that back of your heart is staying. There's something that's pulling you here. There's something that is like, I kind of want to stay, even though I feel a little angry, even though I feel a little triggered, I kind of want to stay here. And the reason why a lot of people are not going to like this video, and don't worry, I'm going to start talking about the real shit in just 1 second. I got to just get this off my chest though. The reason why a lot of people are not going to like this video is also because a lot of spiritualists, a lot of spiritual people, they come into this community to grow, to evolve, to, get closer to their spirit, get closer to a higher power, to really, really learn more about themselves. A lot of people also come into the spiritual community to seek community, to be seen. A lot of us are very sensitive. A lot of us are very empathic, all those kind of things, right? But there's this energy that a lot of us enter the spiritual community with of, I have been ostracized, I have not been heard, I have been maybe abused, or I've gone through X or Y and Z, and I'm ready to stand in my power. And that line of thinking, while it may be your truth, there's a little bit of a taste of victimhood here. A little bit of a taste of, they're the bad guy and I'm the good guy. A little bit of a taste of, a hierarchy. A little bit of a taste of, I'm better than these people because I am trying to better myself, because I am breaking generational curses, because I am doing X or Y and Z. And while there is a dash of truth in it, there's also a dash of falsehood. And what I want to tell you, the reason why I want to tell you, and again, before you click out this video, just listen for just a moment. I want to tell you that this idea of a good person has been manufactured. And the reason why that all of us can know that this idea of a good person is manufactured is because it changes. Anything that has the ability to change and mold its truth is not inherently of truth. Anytime that the truth is limited, it's not inherently of truth. And what I mean by that is, when you're in one family, maybe your idea of a good person is somebody who allows everybody to step all over them. Someone who allows themselves to be used and allows themselves to be this tool for putting out everybody else's fire. And you're a good person if you're just selfless, and that selflessness is really self-destructive. Maybe your idea of a good person is somebody who stays quiet and lets everybody else talk shit and lets lets everybody else say what they want to say, and then your stoicism is a testimony to your goodness, right? Maybe your idea of a good person is someone who doesn't allow anybody else to say anything to them, right? All these things are manufactured. These ideas are not ideas that you have to abide by. What I want to tell you is that maybe you found this video because you're tired. You're tired of putting up a front or doing what you think that you have to do. Maybe you found this video because you're tired of compressing yourself into this mold of what other people want you to be. And maybe you're just ready to just be free of these ideas, these molds, these things that other people want you to be. You don't have to be what other people want you to be anymore for you to be okay. Not just okay, but for you to feel fucking alive, for you to feel fully alive. The testimony of someone who's actually a quote unquote good person is their ability to have integrity. And what integrity means, it's not doing the right thing for the sake of being right, for the sake of everybody thinking that you're right, for the sake of being a good person. The testimony of integrity is honesty. Integrity just means that what you're saying and what you're feeling is in alignment. I'm going to give you a really quick example. I made a post responding to something that someone said about, questioning my journey with Ifa, questioning why I should teach Genesis, which you guys know Genesis, the enrollment closes tonight for this process that so many of you guys already signed up for that we're going to go through within this next 7 weeks. But I had somebody question my ability as a teacher. I responded to them and I opened up to you guys about my history with sexual assault. I opened up to you guys about, my arrest, all these kind of things. And I use it as a moment to showcase more of my voice. And I had some people comment and say that I should let these comments roll off my back. I don't have to be what you think a good person is. I don't have to be what you think a good leader is. It's not a testimony of my goodness if I am silent when you think I should be silent. See, you can't shame the unshamed, and you can't silence somebody who refuses to be silent. And so anybody's bullshit that they try to throw on you, it's not up to them to decide what a good person is. But maybe you found this video because you want to forgive yourself because you feel a lot of guilt about something. Maybe you found this video because you want to forgive yourself because you did something actually bad that you regret. I want to talk about in this video how to begin to forgive yourself, how to release the shame, how to release these ideas, and how to become that person who is okay, not just okay, but is also back alive, back in their bodies and back here, back present with us, right? Because we all know that when you're carrying around that backpack of shame, you're not fully present. You're not fully alive. You're not fully here. Everyone can feel that you're hiding something, even if you think you do a really good job at hiding it. So if you've done something bad, welcome to the club. A lot of spiritualists, a lot of people in this self-help industry, they're not going to want to admit that they've ever done something bad. Because this whole idea of the spiritual community is to create the sanctuary for people who are sensitive. And maybe you are one of those people who are sensitive, but also maybe the two things can exist at the same time. You can be sensitive and also have done things that you're not proud of. Two things can exist at the same time. You can be a leader who's also had a past. Right? Two things can exist at the same time. And the only way to step into your authenticity, to step into the next level of you, is to bare your entire soul with no filter. When you stand fully in who the fuck you are, nobody can tell you who to be. Nobody can silence you. Nobody can stop you. And nothing hurts you anymore. Because the only way that someone else can hurt you is if you resonate with the pain and the shame that they're trying to throw at you and trying to make you feel. But if you are here and you know that you did something wrong and you know you're ready to release that shame and fully fucking forgive yourself, I want to first tell you, this is the first step. This is what we're going to do first. Number one, what have you done? What have you done? Admit it to yourself. Part of the reason why you're holding so much shame about what you've done is because you don't even want to admit to yourself what you did. For me, with my arrest, with all the things that happened with me going through that whole situation, I had to admit to myself, I inflicted pain on somebody else. Whether I meant to or not, I inflicted pain. I inflicted trauma on somebody else. I was in a mutual altercation that inflicted trauma, inflicted pain on somebody else. Yes, I also was in pain too, but my pain wasn't as great as the pain that resulted from that altercation with that other person. I had to admit that to myself. So admit it to yourself. I did X, Y, and Z. It's time to stop. Oh no, but you. Oh no, but. Stop that shit. Admit it to yourself. I did X, Y, and Z. Right? Accountability is not a death sentence. Accountability is a new opportunity for authenticity. Accountability is not where we go to just never be seen again. I accept that I'm accountable for X, Y, and Z, and now I can never let my face, my voice ever be seen or heard again. That's not what accountability is. Cancel culture will make you think that accountability will put you in that island of cancellation that everybody else goes after they've admitted to doing something wrong. No, accountability is a new beginning. Accountability is the first step to acceptance. So number one, admit that you've done something wrong. Number two, why did I do what I did? Why did I do what I did? Now for me, you guys, if you guys have read Black Moon, you guys know the anger that I felt that I was carrying around, that was a product of years and years and years of denying myself of my truth. The anger that I felt that I was carrying around was a product of years and years and years of not being myself, of a product of years and years and years of letting people just walk all over me, a product years and years and years and years of not telling the truth, of lying about who I am, lying about how I felt, lying about all these things. And then I blew up. What did you do? What did you do? And why did you do it? Can you have an open a period of time right now? Can we just do it right now? You're just open and you're honest about how you feel and why you did what you did. Just have a moment. Why did I do what I did? That's number two. And if you can face that demon, because that shadow that created the destruction, that shadow that created that altercation, that shadow that was responsible for you doing what you did, that's a part of you that wants to be seen. That's a part of you that we're going to really dive into here. That's a part of you that we're going to integrate here. We're not glorifying the anger. We're not glorifying the manipulation. We're not glorifying the bad thing that we did. We're not glorifying that. We're seeking to understand what the fuck is behind that. Who's behind that? Who's behind that? Who did that? That's the version of you who wants to be seen. That's the version of you who wants a seat at the table right now. And that version of you will continue to have temper tantrum after temper tantrum after temper tantrum until you just say, okay. You turn around, you look at the shadow, you say, what the fuck do you want? What's going on here? What's going on here? For me, it was the inner child that was never seen, that was never heard. That felt like, because my physical safety was at risk, because I was growing up in this racist Southern Louisiana place with a black dad and a white mom, and was getting our mailbox blown up, stalked by these people. Don't even know how they even knew about us, because there was 2 acres of land before our house, so they had to be watching us very closely, which meant that my physical safety was in danger. They had all intent to inflict pain on us. And so I had to hide my truth. I had to be unseen. I had to take macro aggression after macro aggression. And so then I just decided to I was taught to just not be heard. And then that created this angry version of me that I lived with for so long. But now is my best friend, because I fucking love that girl. I fucking love that version of me who's angry, right? Because it shows me every time that I'm angry, every time that I'm passionate, every time that wrath tries to come out, it just shows me that maybe there's something within me that isn't being authentic. And so maybe for you, you slept with your best friend's boyfriend. Maybe for you, you hurt somebody that you really love. Maybe for you, you said some nasty things, you're a nasty person. Whatever the case is, whatever you're trying to tell yourself, admit to yourself what you did and get to the root of it, of why you did what you did. Look at that version of you. Now, the next step I want you to do is I want you to ask, when did this pain start? When did this pain start? When did it begin for me? What is the root of this? What really wants to be seen within me? Maybe if you slept with your best friend's boyfriend, maybe there's just something within you that just feels like, I'll never be lovable. That thrill of taking what someone else has, of tempting somebody, as using your sensuality as a weapon to pull someone in. That I have to use it as a weapon and pull something in because nobody wants me as I am. Maybe that part of you who is emotionally harmful to someone else, maybe in a relationship or in a friendship or whatever the case is, maybe that version of you just seeked control because they felt like there's no way to keep this person here unless I control how they feel, manipulate them, whatever the case is. And then that manipulation stems from a deep sense of unworthiness, of feeling like if I am just who I am, then nobody will really want to be in relationship with me. And that unworthiness is stemming from there is something inherently wrong with me. And underneath that something inherently wrong with me is the thing that you think is wrong. Maybe it's because you're different, you're weird, you're fucking quirky, you're this, you're that, you're the third, right? There's something wrong with you because I have this experience, because I am this person, because whatever the case is. Right? When you get down to the root, why did I do this? What version of me did this? What is the root of the first time that I felt this pain that created this shadow? The shadow that creates destruction. The shadow is really the protector of the pieces of ourselves that have started hiding. And so can we get to the root of that? Can we get to the bottom line, the base of that? A lot of people would rather put some armor over their shadow. Yeah, I'm like this. Yeah, I do this. Yeah, I do that. That's just who I am. See, we're falling in love with the person behind that shield. The person that feels like they have to do more because they feel like they're not enough. We're falling in love with the version of ourselves that hides behind the shield of lust, of wrath, of gluttony, of pride, the version of ourselves that hides behind that shield of procrastination, of unworthiness. That's who we're falling in love with. No one is inherently a bad person. Underneath anger, underneath manipulation, underneath pain, underneath all these things is always pain. Underneath all the things that you have done to try to control situations or try to control someone else, there's something underneath that. There's someone underneath that deeply just wants to be heard, that wants to be seen, that wants to be okay, that wants to be here, that wants to be present, that wants to be in the limelight. I want to just be loved for who I am. And there's something within you that feels like there's no way that you'll possibly be loved for who you are, because there's something wrong with you. And that something wrong with you is what we're learning to fall in love with. The reason why your mind tries to tell you that you'll never be loved is the thing that we are falling in love with. And in the process of understanding who you really are, you uncover the parts of you that deeply want to be seen. You uncover the parts of you that deeply want to be heard. You uncover the parts of you that want to come into the light. The reason why you've done these things that make you a bad person is not because you are inherently a bad person. It's because there's something underneath all that shit that you've done that is acting out. The shadow is acting out, trying to do all these things, trying to control the situation, trying to do those things because there's something underneath you that wants to be seen. And so the first step to forgiving yourself, to forgive yourself, this first step to overcoming the shame is accepting. Understanding again that acceptance is not a death sentence. Accountability is not a death sentence. And then going behind the veil, going behind the shield, and falling in love with you, falling in love with the shadow, falling in love with the protector and what is protected. We have all done things that we are not proud of in this life. And it's only when you have a deep compassion for yourself that you can extend that deep compassion to people around you. And the reason why there's so many people who are so for cancel culture, and I'm not talking about Diddy and R. Kelly and people who are doing the level of harm that really does, let's put you in a space where you can be monitored. That's a different story. There's only one Diddy and there's only one R. Kelly, and you are probably not Diddy or R. Kelly, babe. But if you have done things that you are not proud of, if you have done things like me, maybe you've been angry, maybe you've been in fights, or maybe like you and people who have, come to me since I've been launching Genesis, come to me with, hey, I've done this, I've done that. Is it possible to heal? I've been the abuser. I've been the bad person. I acted out of character. Is it possible for me to heal? It is. It is. And the people who are so for cancellation, especially canceling people who have made a mistake, not people who are perpetually preying on X, Y, and Z and perpetually doing this, People who have made a mistake, people who are so for cancellation, it's because there's something within themselves that they haven't forgiven. It's because there's something within themselves, there's a judgment within themselves. There's a judgment within themselves that says that I can't forgive myself for this, so you can't forgive yourself for this either. I remember being canceled 2020, labeling me as this, labeling me as that for this one situation. And the main person who was spearheading this whole cancellation against me was someone who previously was canceled a couple years prior. There's something that they were still holding about themselves that they don't allow themselves to heal, that they don't allow themselves to accept. And so there's no way that I can be in the space that I'm in right now. I've had this space, this platform, my Instagram, TikTok, stuff like, well, not TikTok, but my Instagram in this space for about 7 years now. There's no way that I can help people heal if they didn't allow themselves to heal. And what healing looks like is unloading the shame, understanding yourself, and integrating the shadow that created the destruction. They didn't allow themselves to heal, and so they were offended by the audacity of me to just bear myself and help people heal as well. So you become cancel proof by not canceling yourself. You become cancel proof by not canceling yourself. You become a good person, quote unquote, if you want to even subscribe to that. I don't just subscribe to those type of ways of thinking, because again, it's not a totality of truth. You become a good person by deciding to have integrity, by being in a state of acceptance, by being honest about who you are, and by understanding yourself and choosing to be truthful and bearing your heart and allowing yourself to be seen. And the moment that you tell your story, there's a lot less shame piled onto it. No one has power over you anymore if you've broken your story. If you tell your story without shame, there's no one who has power over you anymore. No one could tell you how to feel. No one could tell you what to do, because you've decided for yourself what you will feel and what you will do. So what if you're the bad person? What we talked about in this video, this is how you unload that shame. This is how you begin to heal. And you guys already know that Genesis enrollment closes tonight. But I want to tell you again that they can't shame the unshamed. They can't shame the unshamed. You can heal from anything. If you decide to use that shadow aspect for creation and not destruction, this is how you start to fall in love with the version of you, the protector and the protected. This is how you start to heal. This is how you start to allow yourself to be seen and be unapologetically authentic. And people will always be able to tell if you're not saying something and you're carrying around that backpack of shame until you do this process. So I see you. You're not alone. It's going to be, again, a lot of people who don't like what I'm saying, and that's okay. And I hope that they don't, because I'm not done talking. You can't silence me. You can't tell me to not respond. You can't tell me what to do, because my voice and my authenticity is valued higher than your opinion and your approval. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment and let me know how you feel, and I'll talk to you soon. Odabo.